Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you to this launch.
In the recent years, poaching and trafficking, the illicit trade in wildlife and products, has become a growing problem on a global scale. In Africa alone, every year, around 25,000 elephants are lost. Trade in wildlife products is the fourth most lucrative form of organized crime. So it is not the subsistence poaching that we know, the small-scale trade, but it is highly organized, very professional, and after drugs, humans, counterfeit goods, the fourth most prevalent trade of illicit goods worldwide.
This study indeed does provide a very important framework to the nation as far as the fight in illegal wildlife trade and wildlife crime in general is concerned. I'm sure findings of this kind will really give us a proper framework where as stakeholders, as partners, to cooperate or to collaborate.
Concerning the wildlife crime related to ivory, a majority of cases were ivory trafficking offenses at airports, which constitute 72% of the cases. Reversing this trend of illegal wildlife trade in Malawi is not impossible.
My question is, how serious are we to involve local communities in trying simple cases that involve wildlife crime?
Efforts and resources need to be made to improve frontline law enforcement. At the end of the day, poaching is an illegal activity, and so there needs to be at least a two-pronged, and as my colleague said, with regards to communities, a multifaceted approach.
This is an event, and this is a report on cash, crime, and corruption. It talks about organized crime behind it. It talks about how people from this scene try to make Malawi a hotspot of wildlife trafficking. And the people who do wildlife trafficking do trafficking of other illegal goods as well. This, in the long run, if that is not tackled, it will threaten the reputation of Malawi, to threaten the reputation of the warm heart of Africa. Finally, there is no legal way to sell this ivory. It is very much the same as if the police confiscates cocaine or heroin, as there is a street value, but you can't go to the street and then sell it. But there is a tremendous chance of getting international reputation and media coverage for finally burning something which has no value in the legal environment. So please, what I can only say, go for it. Be assured that Germany, and I suppose I can speak as well for my colleagues, we are all ready to assist you. We are all ready to assist bringing change to the people of Malawi. Thank you so much.
I'd like to take this opportunity once again to urge the stakeholders to robustly use these findings and recommendations of the study. We must use this study to dialogue, strengthen and deepen our advocacy, and fight against this criminal activity. Allow me to extend my appreciation to the German government for such a commitment, which demonstrates that you are a true partner in the socio-economic development in general and in the fight against wildlife crime in this country in particular. The study is officially launched.
The report, which is obviously a review of the status of illegal wildlife trade in Malawi, had three main objectives. It was to try and better understand the scale and nature of illegal wildlife crime. It was to help improve or make suggestions for improvements of the wildlife legislation in Malawi. And we tried to after a series of consultations and interviews and analysis of data, make comprehensive recommendations which will try to improve the ability of the Malawian authorities to combat wildlife crime across the entire law enforcement chain.
This report stresses not so much how we can preserve the wildlife for the tourists. This is not the issue. The issue is why is it important for Malawi? And for Malawi it's important because this country must not become a weak and attractive point for organized crime on a bigger scale.
This is another milestone for the Department of Parks and Wildlife because the report unveils what are our strengths, what are our shortfalls, and how we should proceed from here. It provides us, as the people on the ground fighting the crime, a framework within which to operate if we are to make any successes as far as the crime is concerned.
As far as the report is concerned, the findings are hinging much on the need to review some of the existing laws in as far as the laws that govern the wildlife sector are concerned. Now, with that, government remains committed. We have already started reviewing some of these laws, like the Wildlife Act, with support again from several stakeholders. I think by so doing, that's when we come up and tighten our laws that are governing the land, in particular if it comes to illegal wildlife trade.
The study is a starting point. We know we have on the regional level, on SADC, projects running that support wildlife protection, and we have to enforce this regional context. I think the study will be able to contribute to that through the regional context.
We hope and we understand that this report will be used to roadmap or use as a framework to undertake various important measures which will help Malawi combat illegal wildlife trade. We hope as well that we can consolidate some of the recommendations into an action plan and a strategy which is endorsed by the Malawi government and provides a direction for further interventions. Small interventions that will help improve data management and some larger ones such as frontline law enforcement and other measures. We also hope that the report, once that strategy or action plan has been produced, will be of great interest to potential funders, development partners, international NGOs, organisations that can help bring in the resources and support the Malawi government in their efforts to get on top of this issue.
A report is always only a milestone. It's always only one stage in what should be a chain of events now that come from it, to actually look at how can the recommendations be translated into real action. GIZ is what was pointed out several times today, committed to support Malawi in that and see it as not just a local or national issue problem, but as a regional, as a global, as an international challenge.
We are encouraged by the commitment by GIZ to assist in as far as issues in combating illegal wildlife trade is concerned, because we are saying the government has declared war on illegal wildlife trade, but we can't do it alone.
It also provides us the opportunity now to develop specific strategies. When you look at law enforcement, what strategy can we draw from there? When you look at interagency collaboration, which is already there, what strategies do we need to draw from there? So, yes, we now get that report, isolate strategies, which we should put into practice. But also it provides us a very good opportunity, platform for fundraising. As government, we are constrained in terms of financial resources. Now, with this type of information, we develop the strategies and possibly accompanying funding proposals. So it indeed gives us a very good platform for fundraising, consolidating financial resources from our cooperating partners and development partners.
Malawi has an opportunity here, if these recommendations are followed through and resources are allocated and secured, to become a regional role model in Southern Africa for how to apprehend and deter wildlife criminals.
As government and Parks and Wildlife Department in particular, we are committed in curtailing the rampant poaching which is there at the moment and illegal ivory trade or illegal wildlife trafficking in this country.